Miami
Definitely.
Dolphins 8-3 going into San Francisco 49ers 7-4. The San Francisco 49ers are 4-point favorite here at home. You got a little bit of a student versus teacher, protege versus master, McDaniel Shanahan action. You got the return of Mostert and Wilson coming to San Francisco. Hey, we traded you away. They're like, hey, come on, we're better than that. We're not just capital to you. So they might have a chip on their shoulder. But my question is, where are those 4 points for San Francisco coming from? Over the past 4 games, Miami has scored over 30 points all 4 times. San Francisco's only done it twice. So, and it's not like either team's had better, defenses to face. They've all 8 teams that they faced have been bad defenses. Houston, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, Arizona, Chargers, Rams, all bad defenses. So it's not like anyone had really a big advantage. It's kind of crazy between Dolphins and 49ers, and the fact that the 49ers are a 4-point favorite here. Because the question comes down. The question for you guys is, which team has the better weapons? Is it Miami with Hill, Waddle, Gesicki, Mostert, Wilson, or is it San Francisco, CMC, Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle?
It's a great question.
That's an incredible question.
Who's got the better weapons? Quick question.
I'm gonna go.
Rapid fire.
I'm gonna say San Francisco because
San
and if I could just real quick,
Mm-hmm.
it's because it's more spread out for San Francisco. You're talking wide receiver, tight end, running back. Over here you're looking at wide receiver. It's just not as
Right.
it's just not as spread out for me. I'm going San Fran.
Nick?
If we're talking as like a team, Niners.
Yeah, which team has better weapons?
Oh,
Net
gee.
Niners.
I mean, if we're talking like all together coaching and stuff like, I'm going coaching with Niners with weapons. I feel like Miami's got an edge on them. I mean, the with Waddle and Tyreek alone, the prolificness that those guys bring to the table is unmatched. There's no duo in the NFL that's matched that kind of speed. And then to mix into having a great year like he's having, and Mostert being super solid, Gesicki solid.
Yeah.
I like Miami talent.
Where you at? Where you at, Tar?
It's tough.
Hold
I
on.
go San Francisco. I lean San Francisco. I like Kittle more than I do Gesicki. I like the movability of Debo. You can put him at a number of different locations, and then C-Mac is far superior of a running back. Although it's close, it's very close, and the way Miami uses their weapons, like Nick said, and the health of Miami's weapons would slide me to that side, because you can't trust that the Niners' weapons are always going to be available to you. So it's very tough.
Well
True.
said.
I'd
Well
say
said.
I do lean the 49ers, and the reason I ask that question is because there's interesting matchups here. I mean, Elijah Mitchell is banged up, but then it's gonna be all on CMC running the ball. I mean, they're gonna do Debo because they always do, trick plays here and there. But it'll be a hard matchup there. But then Dolphins side of the ball with Raheem and Mostert and Jeff Wilson, they need somebody, or even both of them, both running backs in the game all time, because you're gonna need somebody to stop Nick Bosa, because you have a guard and a tackle out this game, Armstead and Jackson. Armstead might play, but he's super doubtful, and if he is doubtful, he's just going to get blown up by Bosa if you're not at full strength. So one of those guys, just full game, constantly just chip Bosa. That's your only game, your only job during the game, and then let Tariq Hill and Jalen Waddle, get open. But when I'm making the pick, I want to take Miami, but for me, I'm going to go age before beauty, experience before flashy, and I'm going to go 49ers.
Well said, Brady. I'm taking San Francisco because I think in the trenches, the injuries on that offensive line are just really going to be a problem, and I don't want to say I want to see this happen, but I don't trust Tua potentially finishing this game unless they try and devise a plan to get the ball out of his hands fast and quick. This is the type of team that could do it. With the way the Dolphins are built offensively, we just talked about it. You got Waddle, you got Hill. Okay, you don't need to go deep. All you got to do is get the ball in their hands, I mean, it's very possible to happen, but to think that it could happen over and over and over again for 3 hours, man, you're really taking a chance. I just don't know if I like around about this time, the way Miami injuries are stacking up, I just think that this is a tall order here for a team that has in the trenches the offensive line is just banged up against a San Francisco D line that you don't want this. You don't want this right now the way it's lining up. You know what I mean? I mean that D line for San Francisco is playing really good. And Bosa's a problem, and to top it all off, Tua's a little banged up. And some might say he's a little frail or fragile. It's just going to be a dangerous game here. We got to, we're coming down the stretch, so Miami needs to win this, and the 49ers need to win this to stay on top because, Seattle's coming. This is a huge game with huge implications. People are trying to stay on top, but I'm going to go to the edge here to San Francisco, and that's why I like the San Francisco players a lot better because they're spread out. Charlie, you're right with the injuries potentially. McCaffrey's been in it all year. Debo's been a little chipped up here. And we've known the story with Kittle's had some issues as well. But when these guys are healthy, spread out across the board, it's really hard to stop because of all these different areas. You can't just hone in on one spot and think that's it. The problem's nullified. It's a problem everywhere in every aspect on that offense. It's going to be tough, man. But I think I'm going to edge it out to that San Francisco defense because how are you going to stop them? How are you going to stop it? It's just, you bring guys down to stop that pass. You just bring everybody down. Safeties play down. You chip Tariq and Waddle at the line, and that's the time you need right there. It's just it's going to be a tough game. I like that. That's why the run needs to happen for the Dolphins. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble if you're forcing to pass. And if you get back on third down, third and long, and you have to go deep, now you're talking about you got to hold on to the ball for more seconds than you want to against a defensive line that, is just playing really good right now. Niners. How about you, Nick? I'm going Niners. He's going Niners as well? Or you going Dolphins? Somebody else.
Charlie, run it. Let Charlie run it.
Run it, Charlie.
I got the Niners here. Basically, you guys laid out, my feelings about it as well. Eddie with the trenches, and big time on D'Amico Ryans and that defense. They're giving up like 18 points, a little over 18 points a game. Brady mentioned it with, some of the opponents. Miami's riding a 5-game winning streak, and you're right with the spread. It is surprising to see just hands down 4 points to San Francisco. But they're the home team, and the home team usually gets a couple gravy points there just for being the home team. But the Dolphins have beaten Pittsburgh, the Lions, the Bears, the Browns, and the Texans on their 5-game winning streak. Not exactly an all-star cast. They're 2-3 against teams that are playoff caliber. So this is big for the Dolphins. This is big. And I think you're 110% right with what you said, Eddie. How many chances are you going to take with the little speedsters? The Niners hit. They hit. And that's going to be a long game for them. And I don't think they're going to be able to get off the running attack as well as what they have here for, the last month plus of the season. Mostert's just coming back off an injury. Jeff Wilson's been a great addition, but he's also well known by the San Francisco 49ers. Not only that, but the whole coaching staff is well known of the coaching staff for the Dolphins. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I like the Niners ultimately. I think the Niners are going to expose some things about the Dolphins in this one. But on the surface, when I looked at the matchup at first, it was like, this is like a sweetheart Super Bowl matchup. I think everybody was like, this is like, you look at that and it's like, man, Dolphins, Niners, that realistically could happen. And the Niners aren't without their flaws. I think Debo's going to miss this game. So we were talking about weapons and availability. And then I heard McCaffrey had said earlier this week that he feels like he dodged a bullet on the little knee injury that he had a couple of weeks back. So we all know how C-Mac's fragile too. And we talked about that with the trade and all that stuff. And the Niners as a whole coming into the season, it's always, can they stay healthy? I look for Kittle to have a big game. I think he's a matchup nightmare for the Dolphins defense, which has played subpar so far this season. And yeah, I got to ride 9. You back in on it, Nick? 49ers. Sweep. I expected somebody to take the Dolphins in this one. I'm surprised. I've been high on them all year.
Yeah, I almost did. I wanted to take them for the fact that I think McDaniels will go a little old school, almost original shotgun style with the original shotgun T, one of the first shotgun formations where you got 2 running backs next to you. One takes the chip, one goes for the short under, and then you have your 2 fast wide receivers, which is kind of what that offense is built to do. Now, what if they can pull it off, and if they can pull it off consistently, we'll see. If they even pull out that bag of tricks.
Yeah, I don't think you can be cute against the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, the thing is
the whole game.
I think the 49ers bag of tricks is a little bit deeper than the Miami Dolphins.
I think it comes down to how many times you think you can continue to get plays off without Tua getting hit, and I think Tua's already banged up as it is. I think you run that risk. And, if the run game gets shut down, which, look, the 49ers are letting up 79 yards a game. You think that's going to be enough? You think that's going to be enough to beat the 49ers? 79 yards a game? I don't know.
15-2 might be. 2 is 15-2. Last 2 seasons.
The proof's in the pudding. I love Josh McDaniels. I love what the Dolphins have put together, but they are a straight finesse team, and they're going to get tested physically for the whole game from the Niners. And I would personally, season for season, Tua heads and tails above what Garoppolo's done his whole career. Tua's been exceptional, but this defense and even on the offensive side of the ball, they're just so physical. And the Miami defense hasn't been that good this year. I think that's where the problems are going to be.